Welcome into the live stream here from McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That is Tyler.
What it is, sir.
Getting ready to watch Tottenham's season opener in the pouring down rain and Leicester.
Let's go.
You pretty excited?
Yeah, I can't stand myself. I'm so excited. Like right now, I wouldn't have known. I maybe the Tottenham because I've seen you wear that logo before.
Yeah.
I would have no. You could have given me $1 million if I could just guess the uniforms who they were playing. I would. You got me, boss.
Tottenham Hotspur, Leicester City. They're getting started. Japan and Venezuela, and what could be a big Little League World Series upset happening right now.
Oh yeah, I'm juiced.
Venezuela, they were considered unbeatable, and here they are, 3 outs away from being beaten.
I'm juiced. I can't stand myself.
Everybody gets beaten, man.
Everybody gets beat. Everybody gets beat. A beat is a beat, as my man Joey Jones would say. How's the weekend, dog?
It was good. It was good weekend. Lots of driving. I went to first time I've been to the Battery. There was no Braves game. The Braves were in LA, but went to the Battery, and it's a cool little area.
Yeah, no, it is
cool area. I'd not been there before. They did a really phenomenal job with it.
Yeah, that's the best.
I mean, it's not the area around Turner Field where it's just like bars and restaurant. A couple of high level games, so it was a lot of fun.
Yep. The area Turner Field has been taken over by our friends at Georgia State.
I knew that.
And they're where they had a big sign, but in the parking lot that used to be Fulton County Stadium is now apartment buildings.
Oh, is that right?
So all their players live across the street. Yeah. And so they walk across the street to practice.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
So yeah. Good times, man. Good times. You ready to roll them up? Let's do it, dog.
All right.
Let's do it.
Get rolling here on a
If you're on TikTok, you're gonna have to come to YouTube to see the chat because we can't see your chat over here. But we always have it up.
Okay.
We got life advice today is gonna be a good topic today. But
it is gonna be good.
It's gonna be.
I'm actually looking forward to this.
Sent to us through TikTok
because I was listening to a podcast over the weekend not about that topic necessarily, but a lot about that topic, and so I've got a lot of thoughts.
Yep, be good. Let's go. Let's ride.
Welcome to episode 197 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Monday afternoon. It's August the 19th as we get into, it's actually week 0, which I can't stand that title, by the way. It's so stupid. It makes no sense. In any world, it would be week 1, but regardless, week 0, college football, people in the sports world do some dumb things. It's like, okay, well, not everybody plays, so we're going to call it week 0. Okay,
it is.
Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, that of the
It's
list
fine.
of the list of things that they do that's stupid as shit, I will rank that kind of low, but it's on the list.
I can show you my sleep score. I'm not losing sleep to it. I'm just.
It's on a long list of things that drive me nuts. But hey, it is what it is. We got 2 games that I'll watch. That's it. I'm not watching the other 2. As much as I love college football, I won't be watching the other 2. I say that I may have one on, but I'm not.
There's one that I'm interested in. We'll talk about all that a little bit. Anyway, we're brought to you. Oh, I need to open this up. Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, 0 sugar. It's got what you need to push your limits and achieve your goals. So check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, I'm rocking with the Valencia Orange today. This was voted on by the people from TikTok. So I let them pick my drink flavor today.
Oh, okay.
So we were, they had 2 choices. They had orange and they had the Harvest Grape. Neal, I gave them 2. I gave them 2 choices because that's the only 2 that I had cold in the refrigerator, and they went with the orange today. So we're rolling with a Valencia Orange today. All-time favorite, pretty good. Good stuff.
It is. It's great.
Neal, the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping, and it's going to get hot today. Just to remind everybody that you can go to cooperchevrolet.com. You can get super low 2.9% APR or finance up to 72 months on the select certified used cars there at Cooper Chevrolet. You can also get incredible Car Bravo benefits like extended warranties, transparent pricing, roadside assistance, and 10-day exchange policy. You can also get more free services. Give the guys at Cooper Chevrolet a call at area code 256-236-4481 and tell them that your guys at McCready and Siskey sent you. Neal, we're also brought to you by PTG Outdoors.
Absolutely.
They are a Caymas boat dealer. They have both fresh and saltwater boats. They sell and service Mercury outboards. They do custom marine electronics installations on Garmin's, Humminbird, and Lowrance products. You can get all of your fishing needs and custom golf cart retrofits where they replace all of the batteries with a single lithium battery. They have locations in Grenada, Mississippi, and Northport, Alabama. You can call them at area code 662-459-9311. But most importantly, if you're a fishing guy, if you're an outdoors guy, because we're probably going to have a new reader for them on Thursday because our guy Brandon's out of town, where they're about to add a ton of hunting stuff to their deal. So if you're an outdoors guy, period, fishing, hunting, go to ptgoutdoors.com and load up your cart, help our friends out there. They do a good job for us, and they're really good people.
Yeah, if you need proof that we have hit the point of the preseason camp where it is it's time to play games, watch Lane Kiffin's press conference today. It was about 4 minutes. We have nothing. He's not going to say anything. We've got nothing left to ask other than we asked about Xavier Harris and stuff. But near the end, Kiffin's got a Coke bottle up on the thing.
Yeah, part of the contract.
And I think Lane wanted to be there about as bad as we wanted to be there today. So it was one of those days where he looks at the Coke bottle and finally goes, "Does anybody drink this?"
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done that based on his contract, but I don't think they'll care. He'll still take his picture.
So we started having a conversation about Coke where I was like, "Do you know you have to eat 16 oranges?" Did you know this?
No,
So if
I'm a Coke guy too. So
if you want to get the sugar naturally that's in a Coke added, you'd have to eat 16 oranges.
No shit.
So think about that.
So instead of orange slices after the game, we need to give him a can of Coke.
So the point is that you probably couldn't eat 16 oranges. Your body would begin, because that would be all the fiber and the pulp and stuff. And
your rough day.
Your body would begin to go like, "Nah, dude, let's stop.
Yeah.
We've had enough. You've been able to convert these orange slices into sugar.
Yeah,
you're rolling, right?" That was sort of the point.
Yeah.
And then he took a jab at ESPN's Chris Lowe, who was there today. He goes, Chris drinks Coke."
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like,
Whoa.
whoa.
Let's go. I like it.
Yep, 16 oranges to get the sugar that you get in one Coca-Cola.
I was today years old when I learned that. Did not know that.
Yep.
But I'm a threat to have a Coke heavy every once in a while. I enjoy them.
I will have one if I'm getting a migraine coming on.
My wife does the same thing.
Yeah. So I'll have about one. I don't drink soft drinks at all. I'll have a Coke once every 2 years.
Oh wow. Cherry Coke is where
I used to be a big soft drink drinker back in my much larger days.
If Coke is that way, I guess a cherry Coke would be a whole tree of oranges you would have to eat, because
it'd be a hell of a lot of cherries.
It's like, I mean, it's almost 50% more calories in a cherry Coke. So, now we'll start out here. Neal, I know you went to, we talked about it earlier, you went to soccer in Atlanta. So Friday I took Knox. We went to the FedEx St. Jude's FedEx Cup playoff first round in Memphis. And it was hot.
Oh man.
I'm talking about holy smokes. And I'm there with an 8-year-old. And we only stayed about 5 hours. And he was having enough, he had enough.
Yeah.
I walked 15,500 steps in 5 hours. From the time I looked at it, from the time I stepped on the course to the time I stepped off the course, was 15,500 steps. So what's that, right at 5 miles, 5.5 miles, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
And there's no telling how many steps Knox took, because he's he's a little guy. He's probably up there about 20. He's probably done. But both of us drank 140 ounces. We had one Gatorade and a rest water, and neither one of us went to go pee. So that tells you it was hot.
Yeah,
you were sweating.
It was something.
And
Carson's game was at 11:30. His first game was at 11:30 Eastern, and on a turf field in somewhere Georgia. And dude, I mean, you could like look out. You know what I'm about to say because you've coached in these deals. You could look out and see the heat coming up off the turf, and you're like, oh. You got to run up and down for 80 minutes in that and then do it again later? Oh, cat.
I'm sure you've seen this as much soccer as you've been to, and they don't do the rain delays usually. is when you're playing on the turf in the summertime and it rains,
Yeah.
especially if you have a concrete base, it will start to steam, and you can physically see the steam coming out of that. That sucks. That's the worst. Now, we told the ULL story about being hot that day, but when you talking about opening up your pores and just losing every bit of fluid that you have in you, that's when it gets you. But hey, shout out! I want to say this. I like to give these guys credit. Paul Tesori is the caddy for Tom Kim, and we were on. It's like Knox's favorite spot because it's like where he gets a ball the last 3 years in a row. He's gone. Victor Hovland gave him a ball a couple years ago. Tony Finau gave him a ball, and Tom Kim came down. And so, for whatever reason, when we had made it down to 15, a lot of the guys were struggling on the old scorecards. They were not in a good mood. And Tom Kim came around, and he fist bumped or whatever, and didn't give him a ball though, right? And so Tom Kim's caddy, Paul Tesori, I want to make sure this gets out there because I like telling the stuff that people don't see on TV. Tom Kim hits his ball in the fairway or whatever, and they just take off walking. Well, his caddy, I guess, had to go use the restroom or whatever, so he was late. And Knox was just sitting there. We were the only people at the tee box, and he was just watching them, walk down the fairway. And he said, "Hey, buddy, come walk with me." And so he took Knox on the course and walked him down the fairway and gave him a ball.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then, of course,
How about that?
I mean, not like down the fairway, but
Yeah.
through to the end of the women's tee boxes before they got to the fairway.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think Knox thought he was just going to walk down there and take a shot with Tom Kim. I was like, give him a little whistle, like, over here.
Come on back.
Come on back. Come on back. But super nice guy and didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is the playoffs. They were in the, and Tom Kim did not he missed it by one spot. So he didn't make the top 50, which puts you in every single event the rest of the year. So shout out to him on that.
No,
so
good. They take 1 minute of their day and make a kid's day. It's
like,
cool. It's like just what's 1 minute to use a big life-changing, not life-changing, but something he'll remember for a long time.
Okay, well, to your point.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was Friday. Saturday, Knox woke up and came before I went to the store. He came to my room, and his first things wasn't "Good morning, how you doing?" It was, "What time is Tom Kim teeing off?"
Yep.
I want to watch him.
Yep.
So that
was his guy.
That's right. The point, right?
Yep.
And so it took nothing out of his day. So shout out to Paul Tesori, the caddy for Tom Kim. So that was awesome. All right, Neal, I've been getting a lot of questions. You're going to love this topic right here. I've been getting a lot of questions, especially when we do our TikTok lives. A lot of questions about Tennessee, a lot of questions about Oklahoma.
Okay.
I'm sure you've gotten the same thing. And we live in this world. You cover Ole Miss, so
I do.
You've been on. Is Deion Smith practicing yet?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge. Okay.
We had no practice availability today.
So we live in this world where these high recruits or whatever have these, I would call them unrealistic expectations to fans.
Yes, almost always.
And I cannot tell you how many Tennessee fans or Oklahoma fans are, they're, hey, is Nico going to win the Heisman and all this stuff? And I'm like, guys, he started one football game.
He was awfully good in that game, though.
He was good. He started one football game. Jackson Arnold started one game. So, Neal, do you know why we study history?
Well, usually if you're smart, it's so that you can either repeat that history if you want to repeat it, or avoid the repetition of history because history has a tendency to repeat itself.
Okay, so I'm going to give the Tennessee and Oklahoma fans a history lesson here.
Okay.
About, I don't know, Neal, let's call it 3 years ago, there was a fan base in the SEC called the Auburn Tigers. And Grind, one of our favorite people in the chat, big Auburn fan. The Auburn fan base basically took Bo Nix and ran his ass out of Jordan-Hare.
They did.
They ran his ass out of Auburn. He was terrible. He stinks. He sucks.
They felt that they could do better.
They thought they could do better than Bo Nix.
Yes.
And Bo Nix, all he did to do was went to Oregon and became a first-round pick. And my hot take number 3 of the year is Bo Nix will be the NFL Rookie of the Year this year.
Oh, wow. Hot take 3.
Hot take number 3.
All right, remind the people of hot take 1 and 2. Deion Sanders, this is his last year.
Hot take number 1. This will be Deion Sanders' last year at Colorado. Any way it goes, he either loses and says, I'm not watching this shit, or he wins and moves on.
Last year at Colorado.
Hot take 2 was Michigan was going to take a step back.
That's right. 4 losses.
3-4 losses, whatever. Boosters are going to be pissed, and they're going to use the NCAA case to not pay Sharon Moore's buyout. And then hot take 3 is Bo Nix will be the NFL Rookie of the Year. Dude, he can play. I've watched all the rookies play the first 2 weeks. I get more and more impressed with the guy. I think it's an easy start. He's separating himself from Stidham and White. Dude, I'm talking about running the offense. They kick a field goal on his first drive, but he actually threw a touchdown, but they ruled that he was over the line of scrimmage when he threw it, and it's a loss of down, so they kicked a field goal. But, dude, this guy can play, man. And Auburn fans, my point of the drill is this. Auburn fans were running his ass out of town. They were glad he's gone. Bo Nix is out of here. Thank goodness Bo Nix is out of here. He sucks.
Yep.
First-round pick will be the starting, probably going to be the NFL Rookie of the year. And I can just see my eyes aren't in, so I can just see Grind in there just dropping bombs in there. Is Grind pissed?
He says, I know I had a hand in it. I talked about him while sitting behind his dad at the A&M game in 21 after he fumbled for a scoop and score, but I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I got you. But
certainly, well, he wasn't the only one.
So my point of the drill is this, is both Jackson Arnold and Nico are unbelievable talents. They really are, and I think they will be elite. But let's just pump the brakes and let them get there. Let's don't, when they have a bad game, let's just don't throw them to the freaking wolves and look for the next hot recruit that comes in. Just let them develop. Remember, they've only started 1 game apiece.
I don't care. We live in and Nico, I'm going to leave it. There's no time for development. You're getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Go win the Heisman in September.
Yeah.
Win the damn thing.
Win it in September. Win it now.
I'm tired of it. I get tired of this BS about, these are young guys and they might develop at different rates. No.
Just remember, Auburn, just Tennessee fan and Oklahoma fan. Look at Auburn, what they did to Bo Nix. They ran his ass out of town. And even his dad was an Auburn legend. That didn't matter. They ran his ass out of town. Ran him out of town.
Auburn's had really good quarterback play since then, though, so it's no big deal.
It was pretty cool. I was watching the preseason game, and I saw that it showed, Jarrett Stidham, who he's really competing against. So it showed Jarrett Stidham in an Auburn uniform, and then Bo Nix was the quarterback after him.
Yeah.
So it was pretty.
It's all good.
And there aren't hot take too right here. Have you seen? I don't know if you've seen them because I know you haven't seen them. How about that? The Broncos road unis they were sporting yesterday.
I did not. I was driving.
Orange pants.
Okay.
White tops.
Why?
With the orange and blue. They were fresh.
Oh, were they good?
They were fresh.
Because the Broncos had their old school uniforms were really good, like to the point where you question why you would change them.
Neal, it's hard to fuck up orange and blue now. War damn to you.
Okay.
Bada getta. It's hard to screw up orange and blue.
Took me a long time to figure out what that cheer was, by the way, when I was covering Auburn.
I like the words to it.
Yeah.
Or what it meant.
Like what it was. And then after a while I was like, oh, okay. And then now I could probably do it by memory.
Yeah. That's pretty good. But I'm a friend of the suits. So, all right, Neal. Let's get into some NFL. Speaking of the NFL,
all right.
We haven't. I figured it'd probably be a good time since we haven't done any yet. And the season's coming, and next week we're going to be consumed with week 1.
Yeah.
So we'll do NFC today.
Okay.
And then we'll do AFC Thursday.
All right.
All right. So we'll break it up. So we'll do NFC today.
I've been doing one division at a time in my 10 weekend thoughts every Sunday. So I'm through 6 of the 8 divisions.
So last year we were smart. We went over 2 weeks. We went like an NFC South, AFC South, each, and then the next West, all that stuff. We did it over 4 shows, and we're out of shows because your boy just forgot to do it. So
it's okay.
Shout out to me.
Gonna be all right.
I thought today we're going to spend some time on life advice today. So today I thought it'd be a good time to do this football wise. All right, so let's start in the NFC East. Okay, let's talk about it. What's your order? Have you done the NFC East yet?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I went with.
Who do you got? And why?
See, I think Philadelphia is going to take a step back. I think they'll probably still win the division.
Okay.
But I don't think they're the dominant team that they have been the last few years. I don't think they are a real Super Bowl contender. Now, the NFC is so watered down in terms of top-heavy teams that they might slip in as a contender, but I'll be surprised if Philly's in the Super Bowl. I'm going Philly, then Dallas, then Washington, and then the Giants.
Okay.
But now look, if you told me that I was wrong, I might tell you that, Washington took a step. I really like Jaden Daniels for them. I'm not picking a rookie to win that division, but I do like some of the things the Commanders have done around him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, again, I think Philadelphia has some issues.
I am also we're going to swap the back 3 and 4 basically, but I also have the Eagles winning it. I think there's going to be some improvement. I think coordinator change is going to help the Eagles. I think running back's going to be better. You're adding Saquon to the backfield.
Yeah.
And Saquon's in his prime. And Saquon, for whatever reason, he's hit the father time button the right way. He's not really falling off yet, knock on wood. He hasn't fallen off like the other guys his age. Like he's still in his prime. And so I think the Eagles are going to get good years out of him. I do think the Eagles will win the division. I think it's a pretty handedly. I think it's pretty handedly that they do it. And I'm going to go a step further. I also think this is the only NFC East team that makes the playoffs. I am not in on the Cowboys.
Oh, that's almost hot take number 4. But
I'm not in on the Cowboys.
Wow.
I think it's time to blow it up.
I do think after this year the Cowboys will start to blow it.
Yeah,
up. I think they have no choice.
And I get Jerry Jones. You respect it. He's very loyal to his players. All that stuff. I respect the hell out of that. Thank you.
Prescott's been a consistent get you to the playoffs quarterback, but that's as far as it goes.
Right, and I don't see him as the quarterback play is getting better in the league. He's almost going backwards. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him leading them to a playoff this year. They haven't really. They're still going to be good on defense, but they haven't really added anything on offense. I don't know. You're getting Zeke back and Zeke's father time has hit him. So I'm going to still put them second, but I don't think they're a playoff team. I just think they're second. I think there's a huge separation there. All right, the only place that we're different, and I'm not arguing with you all over it, but it's the Giants and the Commanders, right? And the only reason I did that was with a rookie quarterback. But Daniels, watching him this weekend, he did some really good things. It looks like they're going to implement some college scheme stuff with read zone and some RPOs and things.
But you have to be so careful with these young quarterbacks. And there's a bunch of really good ones.
Yep.
Like Caleb Williams did some really good things Saturday for the Bears. But you've got to remember that the defensive coordinators aren't game planning yet.
No.
They're just sort of base stuff. This is pretty easy to read. And again, I think Jaden's going to be a terrific NFL quarterback. I think Caleb Williams is going to be a star. But to your point about the college guys, give them a minute because they're going to see some stuff they've never seen before, and it's coming, and it's not coming in the preseason.
Right.
No defensive coordinator's going, hey, all right, we got the Commanders this week, rookie quarterback in a game that doesn't count. Let's really throw some looks at him. Nope, he's going, hey, we're installing our base package. And we're getting the starters the hell out of the game. We just want to see which of these backup guys might be able to help us.
The thing that scares me, and I've said this on the show before, the thing that scares me with NFL running college schemes with RPOs and pulling the read zone and things like that, using the quarterback as a runner, is in college, and you've heard me say this 1,000 times. I don't know why people don't talk about this more. In college, you play 12 games. All right?
Yep.
And they're going to play 4 directional schools a year.
Yep.
And so when you look up the amount of quarters played by a college quarterback through a regular season, it's like 10 games. In the NFL, your ass isn't coming out.
Right.
All right. Now you're playing 17 games
against
plus
high-level competition.
And you're probably getting another full game in the preseason. So that's 18. If you make the playoffs, you can arguably play a double season in the NFL.
Yeah.
And those hits just add up, and they're more vicious. And that's always my thing. But he did look pretty good yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch him. I did watch him. He didn't play enough in the first one.
I'm a big Jaden Daniels, the person fan, and so I have a feeling that he's going to be an exceptional NFL quarterback if they can, but
get some help.
But if they don't need to get him hit all the time,
right? All right, NFC West, Neal. We'll go east to west. NFC West.
This was kind of easy for me. I think the Niners are clearly the class of the division. I think they're a Super Bowl contender. I actually like the Rams. I think the Rams are a good team, have a chance to be a playoff team, probably are a playoff team. I'm not completely out on Arizona as a playoff contender, and then I am completely out on Seattle. I think they're toast.
Oh, see, here we go. We got some discussion here. Neal, I'm also taking the 49ers. Shocker.
Yeah.
To win the division. I have the Seahawks finishing second.
Oh, wow.
I have the Seahawks a playoff team.
Okay.
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in. Give me the Seahawks. I got the Rams third. I got the Cardinals fourth.
If the Cardinals are fourth, it's going to be blow up time there at the end of the season, because at some point Kyler Murray either going to work or it doesn't work.
I just don't. It hasn't. I mean, like, I don't know, man. It's like he's almost to that point. Speaking of running quarterbacks, he's almost to that point to where he's kind of like Lamar a little bit. Is like just when you get excited for him, gets hurt or something, whatever it is, right? But I got them finishing fourth. I think it'll be a very good division. I actually have the Seahawks and the Rams being in the playoffs, so 3 teams out of this division.
Wow. Okay.
Which will be hard to do, but I'm going to take that because I think the other, 7 teams in each side. So I got the 1 team out of the East. I'm going to have 1 team out of the South, and then 2 out of the West. I got the Seahawks, then the Rams both making it, but I'm with you on that. All right. NFC North, Neal. NFC North.
So I got the Lions winning it, and then I think it gets interesting. I've got Green Bay second. I do think the Bears, and this isn't just Caleb Williams, I think they've put some pieces around him. Defensively, they're going to be pretty solid. I think the Bears will be a solid third, maybe even pushing for a playoff spot. And then I don't like Minnesota.
Yeah. All right, so we're literally right on par here. I also had the Lions winning it. I have the Packers finishing second and making the playoffs with Jordan Love.
Yeah, so I think the Packers are a playoff team.
That's my last wild card team. All right, the Bears. All right, and talking about Caleb Williams, I've watched Caleb play the first 2, his first 2 weeks of action. Caleb does. It's pretty interesting. He is doing a lot of wow plays that the media is talking about and getting him pushed and all that stuff. I would like. There's going to be he's going to have to be a little bit better on balance and in the pocket.
Well, I actually thought on Saturday the other guy whose name escapes me right now ran the offense much better than Williams did. He doesn't have the talent Williams has. Williams makes these electric plays,
and I think
both with his feet and his arm.
The whole year he's going to do that, right?
But your point stands is that it's for them to really be a contender, he's going to have to become a better system quarterback, and he will.
Yeah. He kind of,
but it might take a season.
Like a touchdown that he ran in, he had no reason to escape the pocket like he did.
Yeah,
and now he's got phenomenal. Like it's almost like once the shit breaks down, he becomes a better quarterback. That can't happen because that's not going to last you 17 games. And like you said 1,000 times already today, we're not in the regular season yet.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
And there's going to be times where they're bringing edge pressure with a nickel instead of just a down. He's not going to be able to outrun that guy, things like that. But I think that he is a phenomenal talent. I think he'll be fine. I like what they have around him. They have good running backs. They have good tight ends. They got good receivers like we talked about. I think he's got pieces. I think they're coming. That's why I got them third. The Vikings, with Jefferson, obviously, but, Sam Darnold. And I'm not out on Sam Darnold, too, by the way. I think I've said this on this show. I will continue to say it. I think Sam Darnold is a talented guy. I really do. I don't know why it hasn't worked in the NFL for him. I really don't. I don't watch him and go, man, this guy sucks. I don't. And I know everybody else does, and I get it. I can't argue with you. I just don't watch him and go, man, this guy's terrible.
It's a narrative that gets established.
And he was a super young guy coming out.
Yep.
But the guy's got talent.
Don't forget, we're not all that far away from people writing off Jared Goff. And then last year he almost takes his team to the Super Bowl. I mean, we do this. We have very little patience in media, which I think includes fandom at this point.
Right.
You're either winning right now or you suck. There's never we really don't buy development anymore, even though they're example after example after example of development. Not everybody look at my boys. Not everybody's going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Agree. All right, NFC South.
It's a bad division. I'm going with the Falcons to win it ahead of Tampa Bay, followed by New Orleans and then Carolina.
Dude, look at you. Me and you back to back here. Give me the Dirty Birds, and GJG is not even in the chat. Not even in the chat.
Yep.
His day has arrived where you and I both have picked the Atlanta Falcons. GJG in the chats, not in the Cooper Chevrolet chats, not even here today, and he's missing out on us picking the Falcons to win the division, both of us.
Yeah.
Give me the Dirty Birds. I'm also going with the Bucks second.
Yep.
Shocker. I'm going with the Saints. Hey, we got another. You want to have another NFL hot take? Spencer Rattler will be the starting quarterback for the Saints at some point in time this season.
Yeah, I think so. I don't
know if that's a hot take.
No, I think that's probably pretty safe. A safe take.
If they're not tearing it up,
you got to figure out. Look, in the NFL, the middle is not where you want to be, and if you're one of those teams that's just missing the wild card round, you're in purgatory. And if that's the case, you don't need to keep bringing in guys that can keep you in purgatory. You either need to make a step or take a fall.
Agree. And I got the Panthers last. Look, Bryce Young, I think it's going to be better, but dude, they have nothing around this guy.
No, they've not done him any favors at all.
Holy shit, man! I'm sitting there watching. You watched them in the preseason. That's like watching paint dry, man.
Yeah, they're
not very deep.
That organization has not been well run.
They're not very deep. I don't know, and maybe they fool me. All right, so playoffs, I got the Eagles, the 49ers, the Lions, the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Rams. My NFC champions representing the National Football Conference in the Super Bowl is the Detroit Lions.
That's mine too.
It's time.
That's mine too.
It's time.
I think it's Detroit and then the Niners.
Eagles, probably.
I actually think I'd go even Packers before I'd go Eagles.
Ooh.
I'm really down on I'm really down on the Eagles.
I'm not as down as you are. I might
even go Falcons before I win Eagles.
Wow. Neal,
I don't like where Philly's going. And whenever this
what makes you not like Philly?
Well, when this thing starts with coaches and quarterbacks not on the same page and you're doing some weird stuff and you start getting into that everything's kind of caustic in a league where you're gonna lose games, in a league where there's gonna be things that just don't go your way. I mean, there's gonna be a couple of college teams that sort of cruise to a postseason. Nobody in the NFL cruise. Like the Chiefs are gonna lose games, right?
Yeah.
Somebody
said in the chat that schedule's rough.
Well, it's a first place schedule, and so you're gonna lose games. And it's like for the Lions, for example, it's the reason I actually think they're going to win this year with a worse record than last year.
Oh.
Because they're going to play a first-place schedule. They're going to get some L's that you're going to get schedule losses in the NFL. But I think in the end, they're more positioned, assuming general health. They're which is right, the parts you can't predict.
Yeah.
But I like Detroit to win the NFC.
I would take the Lions, Niners, and the Eagles versus the field in a wager.
Oh, wait. Lions.
I think the Eagles are in that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm higher on them than you are.
If you gave me Lions, Niners versus the field, I'd probably take it. Oh, you can't miss that. Come on. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. All right. Switching a little bit. Let's switch a little college, and then we're going to get to some life advice. Camps are over, or they're coming to an end in the next few days. And this is your yearly, from Coach Siskey, this is your yearly PSA to all coaches. When you get a day off, okay, camp breaks, you usually give them a day off or whatever. A day off, Neal, is great for the legs.
Yep.
Because their legs are tired. You got to get their legs back before you play. A day off is great. 2 days off of their legs is untied, unscored upon.
All right, so when you're dealing with college guys, how much of physically they need 2 days off? We're worried that if we set them free for 2 days, we're going to have problems.
Yeah, you don't set them free. You bring them in, you watch film, whatever you got to do. Academic meetings.
You get them off their legs.
You get them off their legs. I was a big Nortec for the receivers. I was a big Nortec guy, which is basically, you've probably even been in a Nortec with your knee surgery. It's the sleeve that they put up and push fluid in your, like the whole leg cast thing.
Yep.
They make a cold thing. It's like a Nortex cold compression. Gets fluid out of your legs. but 2 days off multiplies it by 100%. And so a day off is great, but 2 days off. And then depending on your schedule, right? So we always would time this up where, like, hey, Saturday is off. You could really be really good. You never practice the first day. That's your other PSA. Never have practice on the first day of classes. That's a day off.
Right.
Because that is a shit show. Even at practice, the worst practice. I mean, literally, when you go out there that you're getting cussed out by the coach if you're practicing on the first day of class, because nobody's, people are tired because it just throws them off their schedule. It just take an off day. Coaches, PSA, take an off day when classes start. And if you could time it up to where your last scrimmage was on a Saturday and classes started Monday, perfect. Take Sunday, Monday off. You'd be rolling on Tuesday.
Come back on Tuesday. Everybody's kind of
ready to go.
Everybody's got a little juice.
But most everybody gets, used to go 14 days game prep and all that for the first game's too much. But when you come out of this last scrimmage, which most teams have finished on Saturday, you're going to start splitting up scout teams and all that stuff, and then probably start game prep about 10 days out the first game. Start easing in the game plan.
Yeah.
And then go hard next week. So that's where we're at. All right, week 0 preview. Only going to talk about 2 games here, Neal. Only going to talk about 2 games. Week 0 preview. We will not have another Saturday without college football. Neal is so excited that he just can't hide it. And I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about football.
Well, both. Football and football.
Football's already started.
Yeah.
All right, so game 1, Neal, out the gate, 11 a.m. on Saturday. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and the Florida State Seminoles are traveling to Dublin, Ireland. Georgia Tech is getting 11.5 points from the Seminoles.
Yeah.
The over-under is 55.5. 11 a.m. kick, Dublin, Ireland. All right, so general thoughts on this game and then just see what you say about this one. So, one.
I think this is a scary-ass spot for Florida State.
Scary.
Traveling across the Atlantic Ocean, playing in a completely different time zone, first game, all that stuff, and you're going against a pretty good Georgia Tech team with a really good quarterback.
I'm going ahead and make a spoiler alert because there's only 2 to pick from. We'll talk about picks and stuff on Saturday. A little make it rain, and I had it down. We'll finish the discussion because we need the chat. We'll finish punishment discussion on Thursday. Okay?
All right.
And we'll talk about the games.
Because our competition doesn't start until next week.
This week is like preseason for us.
Right.
We just pick them. We'll talk about where we're at.
Okay.
Doesn't count. It's like preseason for us. Okay.
I can tell you that I would have Georgia Tech in the points as one of my picks this week.
I am taking Georgia Tech in the points this week. I may even sprinkle a little bit on the money line.
Okay.
All right, Georgia Tech. Haynes King has played really well. A lot of people don't remember this. Georgia Tech was 5-3 in the ACC last year, and they played better as the season got along. They had some inconsistent spots, like they lost to Boston College, and that was kind of in there. And then they
played in Oxford, and I thought offensively looked really good.
I mean, they played Georgia.
They were very clearly a well-coached football team.
They played Georgia to a 1-possession game in last game of the season.
Yeah.
Georgia pretty good. And I think, and they go to the bowl game again. Everybody's like, "Oh, bowl games don't count." Well, in this situation, both teams played. Okay, it was Central Florida and Georgia Tech, and they beat Georgia Tech by 2 scores. I mean, beat UCF by 2 scores. And they got production coming back. I like what Brent Key's doing there. And they're playing Florida State. And here's my thing with Florida State. Okay, I think Florida State falls off this year. And this is why. DJ's got to show me something. He may go out and throw for 900 yards because I'm saying this on Saturday.
DJ Ukulele.
He's DJ to me, dog. It's like him and Nico. They don't have last names to me. They're like Prince. They just got one name.
I've never gotten DJs down. I feel like I'm at least.
Ungolole. Ooh, that was close.
Oh, that was pretty good.
That was close.
Pretty good.
But it's DJ and it's Nico. I'm not even going to attempt. All right, so here's my thing is DJ has to show me something. They let him go at Clemson. They didn't try to keep him, okay? He goes to Oregon State. We all remember that, right?
Yep.
Well, he gets to Oregon State, Neal, and he splits time with a freshman. He's not even the full-time starter. He splits time with a freshman at Oregon State. Now, this is why he's got to show me something. Jonathan Smith left Oregon State and went to Michigan State. He didn't even try to get DJ to go to Michigan State. He took the other kid.
Yep.
That tells me something as a coach.
Yep.
All right? Now, if you're a Florida State fan, here's the good news. If anybody can get it out of him, it's Mike Norvell.
Yeah.
So He just has to prove to me, because I think there's a massive drop-off between Jordan Travis and DJ.
I do too.
I think it's a massive drop-off, and that's the most important position on the field.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
All right. On top of that, they crushed the portal a year ago, and they had all of these dudes. Keon Coleman had the DN verse, whatever his name is, and so they were all these first-round guys. They got to replace that. Now they have, but just as well as I do, when you're replacing all that production in the portal, there's so many unknowns, and now you're taking them across the pond to play at 11 o'clock in the morning. I think Georgia Tech is in a much stable trajectory than Georgia Tech's Georgia Tech is in a much stable trajectory for up, whereas in Florida State is in this like limbo of, hey, are we going to be as good as we were last year or not? We had to replace a lot of production. I got questions on DJ. I just saw they had somebody suspended, wasn't going to play. Like there's a lot of things that are going. I don't know, man. I'm probably going to take Georgia Tech. I am not probably. I'm taking Georgia Tech in the points. It's an 11.5 points. 11.5 points.
Yeah, I told you I would love the Jackets plus 11.5.
So that's where I'm going to go on that. The other game I will be watching is my SMU Mustangs, the Ponies, on the road at Nevada. They are minus 27.5, Neal, and guess what? For the first time this fall, Neal, it's not enough. Give me the SMU Ponies. I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody. We'll do it again on Thursday, but I'm taking the Ponies, whatever. Move the line to whatever you want to move it to. I'm going to take the Ponies on the road at Nevada on that. So, real quickly, we got like 3 or 4 minutes. We'll get to life advice, Neal. I'd like to say shout out.
Yep.
We give shout outs from time to time when they're deserved.
Yeah. Who we shouting out?
I'd like to shout out the Supreme Court, Neal.
Oh.
I'd like to give a shout out to the Supreme Court. So for all you haters on TikTok, I'm going to keep an eye on the old TikTok and make sure I don't get a red line going across here real quick. But I'd like to say a big shout out to the Supreme Court of the United States. So after our show the other day, late after our show, they struck down.
They did.
Our sponsor, one of our sponsors, the Biden-Harris administration, 2024. I think Joe thinks he's still running. But I don't. They keep sending the checks, Neal. So
from reading their platform, they think Joe's still. They
still okay.
They had several copy editor mistakes where they referred to during Biden's second term. So they must have failed to strike some of that when they after the coup.
Yeah, they forgot to take that out. But the shout out to the Supreme Court of the United States. Hey guys, shout out. Struck down 5-4. Okay, decision of the newly introduced measure that would have allowed female identifying males and vice versa access into opposite sex locker rooms. The ruling struck down our sponsors, the Biden-Harris 2024 administration, rewriting of Title IX. So I'd like to say shout out to. I don't know why it was a close decision. I'd like to have a conversation with those four and be like, because I will tell you. I had made my mind up that if this went it went the wrong way, Neal, you and I were going to take all right, cool. Where do the lions dress?
In the zoo.
In the zoo. I want a zoo at every school. So, because I identify as a lion, or you identify as a lion.
Sometimes.
I identify as the Joker.
You do.
So I need a Gotham locker room, and you need a zoo. I want to know where that was. I want to know where that went.
I do not want to dress.
I'm peeping to make sure we didn't get banned there. Here we go.
I don't want to dress with the other lions, by the way.
You just want one of those private areas.
Yeah. No other lions. I'm
rough.
I'm a very independent lion.
So shout out, big. It's actually, with all joking aside, big win for a common sense win for
just a win for common sense.
Just a win for common sense, like.
A rare victory for common sense.
Victory for common sense.
This is how Clark Lee must feel if they ever won an SEC game. Like, son of a bitch.
We can do it.
We did it.
We did it. We did it. Build the statue. But yeah, it's a win for common sense. I'm very excited to know that on the Supreme Court, apparently we have 5 people of the 9 have common sense. I'm very excited about that. And so I look forward to reading all the comments on because let me tell you something, brother. When we did that Olympic boxing take the other day, they came out.
People get worked up.
They came out. They came out from the left corner. And you know what? None of them had like their name. Like the profile name was never like Neal McCready. They don't want to. That's the best part. Is when they come at you on social media, like their username is like user 7464646669. They don't want to put their name on it, right? They don't want to chicken shits. Don't want to put their name on it because they don't want. Can you imagine somebody having those stance and going to work? I mean, people will wear their ass out in real life.
Well, you would think.
Like, hey, man, I saw you on social media the other day, man. You had.
So
like,
you really think?
So you really think that's okay?
Yeah.
Either that, or that tells me that they don't have children. they don't have girls or whatever.
I do think that's a common thing.
Yeah, so they don't.
I do think that's part of it. Actually,
yeah.
I've had that conversation with people before where they get so worked up about it. I'm like, all right, just a quick question, and I'm not judging, just asking. Do you have daughters?
No.
And the answer is always no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, you might just saying feel differently if you did.
A man, Austin Burrows, in the Cooper Chevrolet chat says, I have a daughter. Let me catch it. Come into the bathroom with her. All right, I'm checking to make sure we don't have any strikes. All right, we're good. All right, Common Sense Party 2024. Let's go. There's more. I will say this. We're going to get to life advice. I know you're going to get it queued up. While you're getting that queued up, I'll say this. I made this point the other day on a live. I got the guy talking about this. I have reached the point now where my give a shit meter is really low. Okay? I mean, it's on zero.
Yeah.
If you can't tell.
Okay.
You've noticed.
I've known for a while.
You've known for a while?
Yes.
Not a big secret. But here's the deal is I honestly feel on this planet, we have more people that have common sense. However, we live in a world that when the loud people are the ones that don't have common sense.
Yeah.
And look, I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't matter if you're left or right. Both of them have people that don't have common sense.
Sure,
okay?
Of course.
But you're so scared to address people when they're just dead ass wrong because you don't want to be canceled or you don't want to be looked at it a different way. You're afraid if you say something, it's going to cause problems. I think the people I'm calling for all people of the 2024 McCready and Siskey Common Sense Party to freaking tell people when they say stupid shit to address it and don't let it happen. It's like coaching. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. Don't allow that shit to happen because people don't want to say anything. And when people don't say anything, the people who chirp think they're in the right.
Yes.
And they get louder.
Yes.
And they get louder. And they get louder. So when you see people say stupid shit and send like this shit to the freaking Supreme Court, it should have never got to the Supreme Court. Should have never got there. It should have been, they literally should have been like the what's that Lane Kiffin lawsuit about he got sued for $1 gazillion? Like it should have been like, yeah, we're out of here, boss. Yeah. Next lawsuit. Like say shit. Don't let shit fester. If you see something that's wrong, just call it out. Don't be afraid of confrontation when you know you have common sense and you're in the right.
All right,
Tyler Siskey, Common Sense Party,
completely
2024.
agree. The problem, not to defend the people who don't say anything, but the problem is it's a lot of the people who don't say anything. It's because they work in corporations where they're terrified of what.
That's what I'm saying. They're scared.
They do say something.
But that's what I'm saying. Guess who my boss is?
You.
Me. Yeah. Fuck it.
I hear you. Ain't no doubt.
I'll be loud. All right, Neal, let's talk about some life advice.
All right, life advice presented by Cole Walters, State Farm Insurance. Cole Walters is licensed in auto, home, life, health, business, pet insurance for the whole state of Georgia. If you've got a lion, you can get that thing insured. Cole's probably like, no, Neal, you can't insure the lion.
No, we stop at the lines.
But you can't, like if you got a Labrador Retriever, you can get your lab licensed along with probably on a bundle there at State Farm. So contact Cole, 706-525-7850. You can also find him online, ColeWaltersInsurance.com. All right, I got to pull my readers up for this.
Let's go. This is a long one. All right, y'all lock in. Here we go.
All right, life advice. This comes from one of our TikTok people. It says, I've heard Neal talk about his journey with his weight. I know he's incredibly dialed in with the way he eats these days. I used to be a highly competitive soccer player in fantastic shape and could eat essentially anything and be okay. Once I went to college, I just started packing on the pounds, and it has gotten worse as I get older. About to be 27, and I'm just tired of being the fat guy. The eye-opening experience was when I took my niece to a water park and could not ride one of the slides due to weight. I don't ever want to be in that situation with my future kids, so I know I need to make a change now. I'm the kind of person who, if they look at food wrong these days, they gain weight. I feel you. I've gone through periods where I will lose 20 to 40 pounds and then get distracted with life and put it all back on, if not more. I guess my question is, what are the ways that y'all have found to be successful in a weight loss journey for extended periods of time and not just go through phases? How do you balance your time with your family/wife, not being a stick in the mud, no fun, and still get to where you want to be? I got on the scale and realistically have 60 to 80 pounds I need to lose, and I feel like it's going to be impossible. All right, first, thank you for the note. Takes a little bravery to admit that, so I will give you this. First of all, you have achieved step one. Step one is just like being an alcoholic or a drug addict or anything else. Step one to getting better is going, I have a problem.
Yep.
Because in our society these days, it's super easy to let everybody trick you into, no, it's okay. You look great. You look great. And you don't look great. So I get it. I know exactly where you've been. My son Carson was born in 2006. So his baptism would have been sometime probably that early 2007. And there's a picture of me with him. And I look huge. I look awful. I look swollen. When you're bald, I've said this before and people think I'm joking, but it's true. When you're bald, the bigger you are, the rounder you are.
Yeah.
You look round. Like guys that have really thick heads of hair, they have a little more grace to work with, a little more leverage. So when I got here, 2008, I continued the whole fat thing for a whole year. And I don't remember what exactly kicked in, but I was at the SEC baseball tournament, May of 2009.
Okay.
And I looked in the mirror in the workout room. And then I did something I hadn't done for years because I had become that guy when I went to the doctor. I didn't get on the scale. I knew I had a problem. One of my doctors in Mobile said, "Are you just going to live this way?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Fat. Are you just going to live fat? It's going to kill you." And I still kind of ignored it because it's hard. And on that day, I was like, I'm doing this. And I did the whole P90X thing. And so my point is not recommending P90X, but I do have real life advice. You're 27. Now's the time.
Yeah, you got time.
Yeah, and you can do it quickly at 27.
Genetics are undefeated.
And it's not hard to draw up the play. Now you got to execute the play. But the play itself, there really is no defense other than your own brain. There's no Jadeveon Clowney over there. There's no J.J. Watt to stop you. It's just you. You're running plays on air if you'll get back into it. So it's two things. First, it's nutrition. You cannot exercise your way over a bad diet.
Nope.
It won't work. You can stop gaining.
You can maintain.
Yeah. And it's calories in, calories out. Now, on top of that, it is the type of calorie you eat. That's big. You basically, and this is hard, but you need to, there's a lot here. This is why I wanted to spend some time on it. I've done it. I was 270 pounds.
Damn.
I was 270 pounds. 2006, 2007, 2008. 270 pounds. And it took a mental toll.
Yeah.
It was bad. If you're on the road, it's really hard because the stuff that you eat in restaurants almost always is bad for you. They're loading it full of crap. They're getting mass-produced food, lots of preservatives. It's bad for you. So the first thing I think you have to focus on is a two-pronged approach. One is your diet. You need to eat as much lean protein as you can get your hands on. Fresh vegetables. Really want to minimize fruit.
Lots of sugar.
Lots of sugar in fruit, but it's okay.
The berries, anything with a berry, strawberry,
Right.
blackberry, blueberry, raspberry, all the berries are fine.
Yeah.
Banana's bad, contrary to popular belief.
Start reading the back of ingredients. And if it says refined, enriched, put it away. Don't eat it. Anything that grows out of the ground is typically good for you.
Yes.
It's typically good for you. Avoid seed oils. Invest in avocado oil and high-level olive oil.
And coconut oil is also good.
Coconut oil is good for you. But protein. Put soft drinks away. Just put them away. Lots of water. And then the second prong is start moving. Move. Go for a walk. Here's a challenge for you. This worked for me when I really started the jump in weight loss. Is anytime that I thought I was hungry, not counting like the times that I'd structured for meals, right? But if in between meals I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, I would go for a walk. And if I went for a walk and 30 minutes later I was still hungry, well, I was hungry. And then I always had like healthy snacks around. Turkey jerky. There was a list that I've got.
Cheese.
Cheese if it's grass fed cheese. I mean, it's
don't do the processed sliced cheese in the package.
Yeah, that shit's nasty. It's bad for you. Move, but I would come back from walking, and if I was still hungry, I was hungry. Then I might have some yogurt with or some pistachios or something like that. Something with protein. I might just a chicken breast. And I drink a lot of water, like you do, a lot of water. And then here's the big part for me, and I think this works for guys. Write it down. Write it down and walk 30 minutes. Get an app or watch something that records your walk. Write it down. How far did you go? What was your pace? And then start competing with yourself. So that the next time you go okay, I've got to walk this 30 minutes in at least this time. And then start trying to beat your time. And when you beat your time, even if your time on a walk was an 18-minute mile, and the next day you walk a 17-minute, 59-second mile, write it down and congratulate yourself. Not with food, but with internal praise. Go, hey, I did it. I'm better. And because literally you just got better. And if you'll work on it slowly and surely, because men don't do this with each other. We just call each other fat and all that stuff,
right.
and guys get beat up. If you start doing that, go, okay, today, instead of walking 30 minutes, I'm going to walk 35. Today, instead of walking 35, I'm going to walk 30, and I'm going to jog 5. And that jog might be the ugliest effing jog you've ever done in your life. But guess what? It's 5 minutes that you weren't jogging before. And before you know it, you're going to start changing it. Get in the gym. Don't worry about what other people are looking like. Lift. Try to build some muscle. At 27, you can still build lots of muscle.
Yeah, you're good.
Lots of muscle. You want to build muscle. Muscle burns fat. And then write it down. Write down what you did. If you did 3 sets of 10 on a chest press with 20-pound dumbbells. Okay. That's 20 pounds you weren't lifting before. Write it down. So that when that starts getting super easy, you go to 25-pound dumbbells. And don't worry about the guy that looks like $1 gazillion over in the corner who's pumping serious iron and looks amazing. He had to get there somehow. He didn't get there on day one. He's worked his way to it. And guess what? That guy almost certainly is obsessed with it. And if you ask him for tips, he'll probably give you more than you could ever want. Because the whole thing about people are looking at me and making fun of me. Nah, most of the people in the gym are pretty self-focused.
Yeah,
they're really looking at themselves. Get on a treadmill and walk, and then I'm occupying this. I'll stop. I'll let you go. The whole thing about how do you balance it? You got to make you a priority. Otherwise, you're not going to be around. You're worried about your family and your wife, as you should be. Well, if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to leave them. You're going to be gone.
100%.
Find the time. You have the time. There's 24 hours in a day, and if you literally don't have time, then you're working the wrong job. You need to start processing. You need to figure out another way, because you owe it to yourself to do this. And at your age, again, at 27, I can't emphasize this enough. At 27, you're going to be able to, if you'll attack this, within 3 weeks, you will see results.
Quickly.
You will see real results in 3 weeks if you'll stick to this. Write it down, make it a priority, get up in the morning, whatever you got to do. I promise you, your wife is going to support you. And the thing about fun, so here's last thing, and then I'm going to turn it over to Tyler. How do you, well, you can have a cheat day. You're better off making it a cheat meal. But stop thinking about food like that. That's a cultural thing that we do. I don't mean all the time. I don't mean like you can never go have a pizza, for God's sake. But like this whole everything that we do must be built around food. You don't have to participate in that. You can go to the Grove, for example, on Saturday afternoon and party with your friends. You don't have to eat 22 chicken tenders. No one's making you do that. So don't.
100%.
You can still have a few beers. Mix a water in with the beers. Yep. If you start getting hungry, prepare for it. Take some almonds or something with you. Where you're not being a stick in the mud. You're taking care of yourself.
100%. So the first thing I want to address in his deal, and I think that's what gets, because in coaching, right? So in coaching, you're busy all the time and all that stuff. I will challenge every human being that wants to lose weight. First of all, we're going to talk about diet, but you have to diet and exercise. Okay, it's not going. It's like Neal said, it's not. You can't do one without the other. And the number one, and you listed in your message that you sent to us, the number one thing is that how do you find the time? I will challenge every one of this. If you have, like, I have my own business. Okay, I'm busy too. I challenge everyone to, however much time you need, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, whatever time that you're normally waking up, you bump it up an hour, knock it out the first thing in the morning.
Yep.
Because as you know, you own your own business. I own my own business. Shit happens, right? And so if you wait till the end of the day, especially if you got kids or whatever, something always comes up and it's easy to say, oh, I need to go do this instead of exercising. You wake up an hour before you normally wake up and go, that is your hour. And I have it, I call my guys that work for me know this. It's called my mental health hour is what I call it.
Yep.
Okay. Don't fucking call me. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go do my thing. Okay. Get up early and go do it first thing in the morning. So you got the exercise part knocked out there. All right.
Yeah. I've got where I'm back running 5 times a week and I'm getting up at 5:50 and I'm out the door. But if someone goes, well, I have to be at work all right, then go to join a gym, get on a treadmill, go to the gym at 4 a.m.
Whatever time, add it to the beginning.
And then shower at the gym. Get dressed, go to work. Whatever you got to do, this is something you got to do for yourself.
Yeah, and so Grind says in the chat, it's hard to start working out. I understand that. It's not easy. If it was easy to do it, nobody would have a problem with it. Yes, it's self-discipline, which I'm going to talk about in a second.
70% of our country is overweight right now.
Yeah, and that's what it says. It's all about time because I know it's easier to sleep than to get up.
Sure.
I understand that. And I'm going to address that at the very end, the mental
sleep,
part of it.
Well, let me add this.
Sleep's important too.
You got to figure it out. And you got to find the time and
don't stay up till 11:30. Go to bed at 9:30.
Figure out why you're staying up so late. If it's because you're working that much, then frankly, you're working too much. Figure it out. But if it's because, well, I'm sitting up at night, we're watching, that's when I'll watch whatever. No, that's when you probably need to be going to bed. You need to be concentrating on getting your sleep. And then like Tyler said, most people aren't working at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
But if you get up, like I noticed it already, like in the summer when I was out 6 a.m. running, I was passing people left and right. And now that school started, I'm not passing people that much anymore. And so I know it's easy to get out of that, but once you get into it and make it a commitment.
Routine is very important in exercising. Routine is extremely important, so I recommend that. All right, diet, okay? And I'll say this about diet. You have to do both. All right, I'm one of the believers, I don't think diet works the same for everybody else, okay? I think you have to find what works for you.
100%.
And I will say this is, like, what works for Neal would not work for me, and probably vice versa. But I've done them all, okay? And I've done the keto, I've done Atkins, I've done calorie counting, all that stuff. What I have found, because I like food, is I like using the net carbs. I try to keep and I don't have a number. I don't say like need to be below 30 net carbs a day. I don't do that. I do. That's the one that I'm able to maintain. You have to find a diet that doesn't become a diet. It becomes a lifestyle.
Yep.
Okay. You have to find a diet that becomes a lifestyle. So that's why I say like the Atkins, which is all meat, like that's cool and stuff for the first week, but then you get tired of it. I know it sounds crazy, but you get extremely tired of it and you may want something. But stay away, like what I do right now, which is the net carb stuff. I'm going to stay away from the pastas, and that doesn't mean I don't have spaghetti every once in a while.
Of course.
All right. And here's the other thing.
Well, here's along those lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you have a pizza night.
Yep.
You love pizza. I love pizza. It's my weakness.
Yeah.
Love it. So every 3 weeks or so, we'll have a pizza night. But you know what we do instead? We go get the cauliflower crust pizzas.
Have you had it at Fergudans?
No.
On point.
But I've heard it's good.
Yeah.
But regardless.
Not a sponsor.
Make enough.
Need to be.
Make enough for one meal.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't order enough pizza to have pizza at breakfast the next day, and then you have some left at lunch. Because now you didn't have pizza one meal, you had pizza 3 meals.
Correct.
The one meal's never going to get you. I don't care what you do. One meal, never going to get you. But you got to be...
Because you're making the other lifestyle. It's got to be a lifestyle.
You're going to a steakhouse out for a corporate dinner, right? You know on Thursday night you're going to a steakhouse and you're hanging out with the guys and you don't want to be a, quote, stick in the mud, which we all have experienced that. So you know you're going to have a big steak and you're going to have a potato and you're going to have all this other stuff and you're going to be drinking. And okay, that's on Thursday. So eat really light Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Add a little exercise to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, put a workout in. Drink a lot of water. Be smart so that you minimize the, quote, damage that you do. And now there's not a lot of guilt. And then on Friday, eat light again.
All right. Here's the second thing. You're 27 years old. I was writing this down when Neal was talking so I wouldn't forget what I wanted to say. You're 27 years old. All right. I had a problem with this. I'm sure I think all former athletes have a problem with this. When you've been made to do exercise for so long, and then all of a sudden there's not somebody there that's making you.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
Okay.
It was something I wanted to mention.
So, and you're a former athlete, so you're a soccer player, so you had to run forever. Well, now the second, I was the same guy too. I played receiver. All right. The day somebody didn't make me run, I tell you all the time, it's like, if you see me running down the road, stop and help me. Now mine's injury prone now, but anyway, you have to you have to understand your expectations. Okay. And when people start exercise, if you're overweight, and this is my challenge to all of you, when you start to exercise, especially when you get in the weight room again, the first day or two, you're going to be sore as hell. And you have to keep pushing and going in there. Eventually it'll stop being sore.
Right.
But a lot of people quit exercising because of how sore they are. Like, oh, I can't go today. Yes, you can. Get your ass out of the bed and go do it. Like, you can do it. You have to push through that. All right.
If you can afford a personal trainer, even just for 3 weeks, just to show you some workouts, to get you started on a workout, it's worth it. Here's an app that I use a lot. I have a Peloton, but you don't have to have a Peloton to get the Peloton app. For whatever reason, and I think it's because I know you can't look at me and tell, and I wasn't as good as you, but I was an athlete. I played sports. I'm used to being coached.
Yeah.
For some reason, P90X worked for me because whatever Tony Horton said to do, I just did it. Like, people be like, don't you think that guy's a goob or whatever? But I don't know. He's my coach. And if he tells me to do sit-ups, push-ups for a minute, I do push-ups for a minute. If he tells me to write it down, I write it down. I do what he tells me to do. And after a while, I'm having results. And so now me and Coach Tony, we're just going to work, right? And so what I do with Peloton, I've noticed that my runs are better if I do a Peloton app run. I did a 45-minute Matt Wilpers run today and then did a 10-minute cool-down run where I had coaching. where there was, hey, we're going to do this 8-minute segment, then we're going to come back for 2 minutes. And even if I'm not necessarily doing it, everything that he's telling me to do, there's something about that voice in my head. Now, for some people, that's going to drive you crazy. Figure out what works for you on your walk, on your row, on your bike. If it's music, listen to music. If it's podcast, listen to podcast. But if you're having, don't give up. There's always something. Try something else. Try a guided thing where there's an instructor in your head. They can't see you, but you can trick yourself into thinking you're part of a class.
Absolutely.
You're running with somebody. Like when I'm out at 6 a.m. running today, I'm listening to Matt Wilpers. My legs hurt. I was a little tired, but he's talking about how he kind of gets through it. And I'm like, okay, so I'm just kind of like out running with him, even though he's not really there. But that works for me. And it might not work for you. But whatever works for you, man, do it. But don't give up until you find what does work for you. And then if you can, mix multiple things in. Run, row, bike, lift, walk, sleep. Take care of yourself. But you can absolutely do it. And at 27, now's the time. Don't wait. Don't do what I did. Don't wait till you're 40. Don't wait till your body's all inflamed and been damaged. You can do this at 27, so do it at 27.
All right, I'm going to leave. I was literally, as I was reading this guy's post, I think I've said on here before at some point in time, but I couldn't think of a better time to bring this up. And it happens to do with if you're overweight and you want to lose weight. It happens if you want to be successful in business, if you want to have a great marriage, if you want to get into coaching, whatever you want to do. Neal, I have never, and I'm stealing this from Steve Roberts. He ingrained this in my head, and I will ingrain it in every one of his players' head. And I think it's something that's very key. I have never met a human being. I've never met one. We'll do weight loss. I've never met a human being that said, you know what, I want to be overweight. Every one of them wants to, every single person wants to be fit. They want to look good. I've seen everybody wants to do that, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I have met a gazillion people that wasn't willing to do what it takes to be successful. So it doesn't matter if it's your marriage, weight loss, business, life, parenting, anything you do. I have never met a single human being that didn't want to be successful. The difference is there's people that are willing to do what it takes.
Yep.
And you've been given a shit ton of really good advice on how to do it. You have to be willing to do what it takes to get there. And so,
and in many ways, this is easier than a lot of those other things because, like, okay, you want to work on your marriage, it takes two. You want to work on your business, it's probably going to take more than just you, right? It's going to take other people. You're on part of a corporate team or whatever. You can be the best player on a football team, and if all the other players suck, your team's probably going to lose. You can do this by yourself, and you will see results. And trust me, the difference in how you feel at 270, I'm just making up a number for you. You said 70 pounds.
Yeah.
From 270 to 240 is stunning. And then all of a sudden you hit 220 for the first time in forever, and you're like, oh my God. And the feeling people are going to start noticing, people are going to start saying things to you. It makes you feel good. And then all of a sudden if you set a goal of losing 70 pounds, that's a big goal. Set a goal to lose 5 pounds, knowing you're going to set another goal. Set the big goal, but then set the little goals. It's like a football team. A football team says, hey, we want to win the national championship. They set a bunch of other small goals first. Right?
Yeah.
You don't just focus on the big thing. You got to focus on, hey, you got to win this day. You got to be better in this practice. We got to be better here. We got to be better against the run this week. We've got to, it's little things. Set little goals. Don't kill yourself when you don't make one of them. Just double down, get it done. But I promise you that journey, if you get through it,
it's worth every second of it.
Will make you so much a tougher person, a better mental person. Like I'm horrible to myself. You guys know that. I've talked about it a lot. I mean, today, I looked down. It was the fastest I'd run. I got under a 10-minute mile on my average for the first time since knee surgery.
Right.
And I was cool to myself. I was like, man, good for you. Like, to me, like, you did that. We did that. We've been out here banging on this, and we were in my neighborhood. There's a lot of hills, and I'm like, we did this. We banged on this. We got it done.
You have a great walking neighborhood too, by the way.
It is. It's great for walking. Yeah, I'm like, we pushed through this. We did it. You know, I'm like, I'm gonna go do the 10-minute run, the 10-minute cool down run, and I'm gonna slow down. I'm not gonna press. I'm just gonna cool down, and I did it. And at the end of it, I was like, you did that the right way. That was smart. You know. So be cool to yourself. Be nice to yourself. But you can do this. But I'll finish with this. You're 27. Now's the time.
Go.
Don't
up and go.
Don't let it get worse, because the worse it gets and the older you get, the harder it's going to be, and it's going to be hard. Yep. But attack it now, and you will be so glad you because you can lose all of that in less than a year at your age, and you'll look up a year from now and be like, "Holy cow!" Life changing in so many ways. So good luck, and I know if I can help you, I will. You can feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I'm sure Tyler too. But we've both been down that road. I've been down that road a lot for about 20 years now. So I get it.
That's all I got today, Holmes.
All right. That does it for this show. We'll be back on Thursday with another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Reign Total Body Fuel. Don't forget, it's Reign Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, helps you achieve your goals, do what you need to do, and check them out on Instagram at Reign Body Fuel to learn more.
Also want to shout out, make sure you take care of our guys at PTG Outdoors. They are a Camus boat dealer. They have both fresh and saltwater boats. They sell and service Mercury outboards. They do custom marine electronic installations with Garmin, Humminbird, and Lowrance products. Get all of your fishing needs and custom golf cart retrofits where they replace all the batteries with a single lithium battery. Locations in Grenada, Mississippi, and Northport, Alabama. And more importantly, guys, make sure you go check them out if you're an outdoors guy, outdoors gal. Check them out at PTG Outdoors. Check their online store out for us today.
For Tyler Siskey, I'm Neal McCready. See you guys on Thursday. Take care.